Good day everyone, I am Gerald Imataya and I am your reporter for today about problem solving strategy. Let's have first the intended learning outcomes, where the first one is we need to define the problem solving strategies. The next one is the uh, Polias 4-step models and its example. And the last one is the advantages and disadvantages of problem solving strategy. We all know that problem solving strategies is truly be a problem. A mathematical quest must contain some effort or thought on the part of the solver. So as a teacher, we must remember that a difficult problem for some student may not be for others. So a good problems include modifications that may be made for student with varying abilities. So problem solving is a cognitive processing directed at achieving a goal where no solution method is of use to the problem solver. So as we solve more problems and learn how other people solve them, we learn strategies and techniques that can be useful. And now let's move on to Polya's four-step model, where George Polya has an important influence on problem solving in mathematics education. So he noted that a good problem solvers tend to forget the details and focus on the structure of the problem, while problem solvers do the opposite. So this method is simple and generalized as well. It has become a classic method for solving problem. Where the four-step process are: the first one is understand the problem, the second one is devise a plan, the third one is carry out the plan, the last one is look back. Let's start with understand the problem. Many students are overwhelmed just by reading a problem. So at this point, group discussion is beneficial. So before we solve a problem, we need to know exactly what the problem is. And we should put a good amount of thinking and resources into understanding it. So here's the question that may help us in understanding of the problem. The first one is what are you asked to find or show? The second one is what type of answer do you expect? The third one is what units will be used in the answer? The fourth one is can you give an estimate? The next one is what information is given? The next one is if there is enough or too little information given. And the last one is can you restate the problem in your own words? And now let's proceed to the next step of problem solving, the devise the plan. The plan is usually called a strategy. So we devise a plan, we come up with a way to solve the problem. So here's the problem solving strategies that we will use to solve the problem. So the first one is act it out. So in act it out may be appropriate for lower elementary and it may not be for middle grades. So it's simply a real life problem can pause to act it out in the early grades. Stress that other objects may be used in place of the real thing. Then the value of acting it out become clearer when the problems are more challenging. The next strategy is make a drawing or diagram. Stress that there is no need to draw detailed picture. So we need to encourage learners to draw only what is essential to tell about the problem. The third strategy is look for a pattern. So this involves identifying a pattern and predicting what will come next. Often students will construct a table then use it to look for a pattern. The fourth one is construct a table or organize a list. So this an efficient way to classify or order large amount of data, and an organized list provide a systematic way to record computations. The fifth one is identify all the possibilities. So this is often used with look for a pattern and construct a table. The next strategy is guess and check. So this strategy does not include wild and blind guesses. So students should be encouraged to incorporate what they know in their guesses and educated guess. So the check portion of this strategy must be stressed. When repeated guesses are necessary, using what has been learned from earlier guesses should help make each subsequent guess better and better. The next one is work backward. So some problems are posed in such a way that students are given the final conditions of an action and are asked about something they occurred earlier. The next one is write an open sentence. So often is the only strategy taught in textbook. In research indicates that it is useful but not so useful that it should be taught exclusively. The second to the last one is solve a simpler or a similar problem. So some solutions are difficult because the problem contains large number or complicated patterns. So sometimes the simpler representation will show pattern which can help solve a pattern. The last one is change your point of view. So when the first plan is unsuccessful, so you need to change your plan, or students tend to return to the problems with the same point of view. And now let's move on to the third step of problem solving, the carry out the plan. The original strategy may need to be modified. Then students need to understand that not every problem will be solved in the first attempt. So cooperative learning teams can be very beneficial at this point. And it is to do something that we have planned or agreed to do. The last step is look back. So this is simply checking all steps and calculations. Then students should be reminded that they should not assume the problem is complete once a solution has been found. Instead, students should examine the problem to ensure that the solution makes sense. And now let's have an example. The tree farm is planted as shown at the right. The dots represent trees. The lot will be enlarged by adding larger squares. So how many trees will be in the fifth square? So in this problem, we will apply the four steps in problem solving, where the first step is understand the problem. So as we look at the picture, the distance between the two trees is 2 feet. And there are 4 trees in the first squares, 12 trees in the second squares, and 20 trees in the third square. So it is to find out the number of trees to be planted in the fifth square. As we move on to the next step, devise a plan. A table may help us to see the relationship of the number of trees planted on each square. So we need to find the pattern and solve the problem. The next step is carry out the plan. So we need to make table to help find the pattern. We have the square position and the number of trees. Where in first square we have 4 trees. In second square we have 12 trees. In third square we have 20 trees. So we need to find the number of trees in the fourth square to find out the number of trees in the fifth square. So the pattern is 8 more trees are planted in each larger square. So it is only adding 8 to find the trees in the fifth square. So our answer would be there are 36 trees in the fifth square. The last step is review the solution. So since 8 more trees are planted in each larger square, the fourth square will have 28 trees and the fifth square will have 36 trees. So the first square is equal to 4 trees. The second square, 4 plus 8 is equal to 12 trees. The third square, 12 plus 8 is equal to 20 trees. The fourth square, 20 plus 8 is equal to 28 trees. The fifth square, 28 plus 8 is equal to 36 trees. So the solution or the answer is correct. So there are 36 trees in the fifth square. Let's have another example. Michelle has two skirts, a black and a blue skirt. She has 4 blouses, a white blouse, a yellow blouse, a red blouse, and a pink blouse. How many different outfits she put together? So in this problem, again, we will use the 4 steps in problem solving. So where the first one is understand the problem. So we need to find the number of different outfits Michelle can put together out of the 2 skirts and 4 blouses. The next step is devise a plan. We need to make an organized list to find the number of different outfits Michelle can put together. The third step is carry out the plan. We need to list the color of the skirt at the left that will correspond to the color of the blouse at the right. So to see how many pairs can be made. So as we can look, we have in black skirt we have 4 blouses that can put together. Where the black skirt pwede natin siyang i-pair sa white blouse, black skirt in yellow blouse, black skirt in red blouse, black skirt in pink blouse. Ganon din yung blue skirt. Pwede natin siyang i-pair sa white blouse, blue skirt in yellow blouse, blue skirt in red blouse, and blue skirt in pink blouse. So as we count all the different outfits that or the different pairs can be made, Michelle can make 8 different outfits. And now let's have the last step, review the solution. Go back to the list. So after checking that all the data are listed completely, then we can say that the answer is correct. And now let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of problem solving. Let's have first the advantages in problem solving. I have only 6 advantages of problem solving, where the first one is it provides the active participation of the students in teaching learning activity. The second one is it habituates students to study regularly and organize. The third one is it provides students gain scientific view and thinking. The fourth one is it makes students to be interested in learning. The next one is it helps to improve the sense of responsibility of the students. And the last one is it provides students to face the problems boldly and to deal with it in a scientific approach. So the teachers need a plan for introducing strategies. It is not feasible to focus on them all at once. And in math class, with almost every problem that is presented, there is some sort of method that is followed that places the student at the solution. However, there is not always one single method that leads to the answer. There can be many different solution paths that allow every person looks at the problem in different way. So which why some people may choose one method over another method. By teaching student this discipline of solving problems, the students will be better equipped to reach their goals in future, because they will learn that there are different way to approach a problem, and if the problem solver get stuck, they can try to look at the problem from a different angle and attempt a different method to reach a solution. And the disadvantages of problem solving, it generally speaking, problem solving involves a mental activity only, and small children do not possess sufficient background information so that they fail to participate in a discussion. But for me, the disadvantage only of the problem solving strategy is it makes too much time and effort if you fail at your first attempt, because you need to change uh, your strategy and find another solution. But for me, it is depends on how you understand the problem, devise the plan, carry out the plan, and review the solution. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you and God bless.